Hello all. So I set up a simulation for the ratio transfers that I believe ES&S and Dominion voting systems are using in the United States. So before we do the simulation, I'm going to give you an overview how it works. So this is just a hypothetical example. Let's say that there's 1 million votes that are expected in an election, and they're expecting it to go 48% for Biden, 52% for Trump. The ballots that are coming in, and they actually need 55% of those votes to be for Biden in order to flip the margin. So what they do is they take the million votes and they divide it into two sets. The natural set, or the organic set, which they don't tamper with. And then they have the flip set, which is the other remaining votes, which is 300,000 votes. So at this ratio of 48 to 52, the natural set would produce 336 ballots for Biden and 364 votes for Trump. In order to get up to 55%, the flip set will have to convert them at 79% Biden and 27% Trump, giving Biden 219,000 and Trump 81,000. So the way the flip set works is they don't just go and flip a bunch of ballots at one or two voting centers. That would be too obvious and it would be too easy to prove. So they create what's virtual precincts that exist in the cloud, so to speak. They don't exist physically. And these virtual precincts are set up at different numbers and different percentages. So this virtual precinct, I call it a ratio box, will produce, will flip votes at 1 to 10. So Trump will only get 1 vote and Biden will get 9. And then at the second virtual precinct, Trump will get 1 vote, Biden will get 4 out of a total of 5. And so on and so forth. So you have these 3 virtual precincts, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 3, 2 to 3. And there's always one precinct that will produce more votes for Trump than for Biden, and that's done as a balancing mechanism, as I'm going to show you in the second example before we start this simulation. So there's 300,000 votes in the flip set, and Biden needs to get 219,000. So I set the number to 200,000, I think, just to make the math a little easier. So how many ballots have to pass through each of these virtual precincts is the next question. So they set up this, it's a linear equation, 2 of them. So you get the total, 300,000 is equal to x, y, z, t. That's for each box here. This is x, this is y, this is z, and this is t. And then the amount of ballots that they need to give to Trump or to Biden, doesn't matter which one you choose. The result will come out the same. So we put 100,000. So remember, I'm doing 200,000 for Biden and 100,000 for Trump to make the math easy. Then so you have this, and then you put 100,000 equals x over 10, which is this ratio, y over 5, which is this ratio, z over 3, which is this ratio, and 2t over 3, which is this ratio. And there's many integer solutions to this, and this just happens to be one of them. So you had to get 90,000 ballots in here, 40,000 ballots in here, 90,000 ballots in here, and 80,000 ballots into the last virtual precinct. And the virtual precincts, how they work is they will randomly seize real precincts and flip their votes for a tiny fraction of time compared to the election. Now I say seize instead of hijack or hack because there's an actual process, physical process of somebody having to stuff the ballots. So I'm pretty sure that Dominion, its virtual precincts, will seize control of low turnout precincts, like physical precincts in real life that you go to, like the elementary school, that have low turnout. Somebody stuffs the ballots, and then it does its fraction magic up here. So this is one example for the 1:5 ratio. So this would be the second virtual precinct. We're going to put it here. And it will seize 3 real precincts. And it will flip its votes. So remember, we needed about 40,000 in here. So 3 elementary school A, elementary school B, and elementary school C will get 3,000, 4,000, 3,000 votes stuffed in. Or even real votes, it doesn't matter. And it will, so that's 10,000 total, and it will flip them at this ratio of 1:5. And then it will move on, and then after some time passes, the virtual precincts actually release these 3 from their control. And it seizes 2 new precincts, so this could be the library voting center, this one could be the another elementary school. And then 7,500 ballots will go through the library, 2,500 will go through the junior high school. Alright, that will be 20,000 votes combined with all of them from the previous ones. And now 20,000 votes have made their way through here. And then finally, let's say this is the high school. So it releases the library and the junior high, and now it seizes the high school, the stadium, and maybe this is like a church. And that makes up for the remaining 40,000 ballots I needed to pass through this virtual precinct. And then once it's satisfied, it's done. It stops hijacking precincts. So in the simulation, I chose smaller numbers, so we didn't have to spend 15 hours watching a simulation. And I chose an election that only has 10,000 votes. It's going to go 50%, 45% Biden, 55% Trump. That's without it being hijacked. So we're going to split into 7,000 real votes. So Biden gets 3,150 and Trump gets 3,850. So 7,000 votes that are natural. We don't touch them when we do it at the correct ratio, 45 to 55. And we're going to hijack 3,000 ballots and send them through the virtual precincts. And the numbers I chose for these ratios, let's zoom in. Biden will get 66 out of every 73 in the first virtual precinct, and Trump will get 7. Biden will get 26 out of 31, and then in the third precinct he'll get 2 out of 3, and in the last precinct he'll get 1 out of 3. So we have our linear equation. 3,000 equals A plus B plus X plus Y. So this is A, B, X, Y. 2,000, which is the amount of votes we need for Biden, equals 66 over 73, 26 over 31, 2 over 3, and 1 over 3. Now we just go over to Wolfram. It's a great website. And I just plug this in. A plus B plus X plus Y equals 3,000. Then I type in the ratios, equals 2,000. And I'm not going to explain why I put bounds on A and B. But just trust me, there's a reason why I did that. If I don't, you get negative solutions and imaginary and complex numbers. So I put these bounds on. I'm going to explain why I use those bounds. And Wolfram pops out 28 different sets of integer solutions. So we pick any one from this list, right? The algorithm would do this on its own. And I picked this one here, the second from the last. So 365, 217, 246, 372. So we need to get a total of 365 ballots in here, 217 ballots here, 2,046 ballots in here, and 372 ballots in here. So now I go over to the simulator. I already did it though, to save time. And I set my ratios. 66 to 73, 26 to 31, 2 to 3, and 1 to 3. That's all Biden to total ratios. And we set the limits to 365, 217, 2064, 372. And now we're ready to run our simulation. Here we go. Enjoy the election. Alright, so in order to create the red mirage effect, you'll see that Trump's votes, Marine here is a Trump vote, every blue Marine is a Biden vote. So I set it so when the red Marines hit this point here, they run really fast, and that creates a red mirage. And the blue Marines slow down when they reach the point on the opposite side. And these are the manufactured ballots. I made these go really slow, so the manufactured numbers come in slower. So here they are. You see the tags here: 66 to 73, 26, 31, 2 to 3, 1 to 3. All right. And the speed at which these guys are running doesn't affect the tabulation. It just makes them count the Trump votes faster and the Biden votes slower. So let's look at these colors here. The purple buildings here, these are the C's precincts. The ones are the free precincts. Now I'm going to type C's, and we're just going to see it change randomly. Let me back that up so you can see. Now watch the colors change, okay? And you can look at this mini-map in the bottom left. You see the purple and the yellow boxes? The purple ones shows the grid of what's C's, and the yellow ones are free. There you go, you saw it change. Now here are the manufactured ballots. Trump is winning right now. So
game resumed.
So you see that these yellow boxes here, the yellow precincts, they choose a random number from 1 to 100, each of these individually. So they all get their own unique random number that they pick. And if it's less than 45, it's a Biden vote, so it makes a blue Marine. And if it's more than 45, it's a Trump vote, so it makes a red Marine. The purple ones, though, that are C's, they produce a blank vote, and that's this virtual precinct. Here's where the manufacturing is happening, right? So this factory has reached its quota of 217. That's why you can see this teal Marine here running fast to the second factory. This factory is still manufacturing ballots. So when you're going to see 7 red Marines just run out of here at once. There you go. 7 votes. So that's deterministic. There's no randomness there. 7 votes just ran out for Trump. Now this one's hit its quota, so it's sending it over to the 3rd factory. Right here. Or the 3rd factory needs like 2,000 ballots, so I had to set up the algorithm so it sent the excess over here. Alright, the first, second, and 4th virtual precincts have hit their quotas now. That's 365, 217 ballots, and 372. So the rest of the manufactured ballots are going to this precinct. Trump is still winning, guys. Oh man. So this is how it works. I'm stealing an election right now, okay? This election's almost over, so won't take much longer. It's only 10,000 votes, so it'll be over in a minute. Remember, all the ones going to the left and right are natural votes. The ones that aren't being hijacked. Which is most of the votes. It makes up 70% of the actual tabulation. So if this wasn't being manipulated, the count would be 4,400 to 5,200. Trump would have a huge, huge lead. And the bottom numbers here, they're not deterministic. They're actually going by the random numbers generated by the precinct. So there's no more ballots now. We've hit the limit of 10,000. These are all the ballots that are left. This is the only precinct, virtual precinct, that's still manufactured. See here, it's producing 1 Marine for every 2 here. 1 red for every 2. 2 more ballots still walking. 2 blanks still walking. There's the last blank. There he goes. It's a Trump vote. And that's it. Now let's see how close this was to the numbers on the image file before I started the simulation. So we have 4,770 votes for Trump, and 5,230 for Biden.
Game resumed.
That's the end of the simulation, guys. That's how you steal an election. I made the simulation in like an hour on a coffee break. So if somebody put a gun to my head and said, build a a statewide system to hijack an election, I could probably do it in a day. Just by, look, I'll type C's again. See how I changed the random precincts that were seized? It doesn't matter what the aggregate total is in any of these precincts at the end. Like, I saw people saying, oh, it doesn't matter, your theory can't work because in the end, if it releases the precinct, then the count would change for it from the ratio. No, that's not how it works. It just has to divert it to the virtual precinct where it manufactures the ballots. And that's it. So there's your fraction magic, guys. Done. Done. Made in a coffee break.